Welcome everybody, especially to the new ones. So this is a self-healing group that I've created, and there can be people from various sources, Stitch or my meetup group or Facebook. And the purpose of these groups is really to help you know how to heal yourself. And you might say, well, how do I know about that? Well, I've been to a Western doctor for 27 years and wouldn't go to one because I believe you can heal yourself. And a good example is today, which is called No More Back Pain. There's really two things I would like you to go away with today. One is to understand your back pain, because there's a lot of confusion in treatment of it, and there's a lot of mistreatment, especially with scoliosis. Like they put a rod in your back, which is totally ridiculous if you understand what causes back pain. And a lot of people say they can't even fix back pain, right? Which you can fix anything. So I'm going to help you understand back pain. And then I'm going to give you a process of knowing how you can shift it, and you can shift it yourself. Yeah. Sometimes we need help from other people if it's very deep and we can't understand the process. But I'm going to give you a 4-step process, which I use to heal anything. And I work with people from 50 different countries. So does that sound exciting? So to start off, I want you to give me a score in the chat room. If you've got back pain, I want you to give me a score out of 0, which is no pain, to 10, which is very painful, or you have lack of flexibility, you can't do things. So just in the chat room, put a score out of 0 to 10, where 10 is really high back pain, 0 is none. And you might even say where it is in your back. 4. Thank you, Elgie. That's quite significant. 5. Oh, there's a 7 here. Interesting. 5 at the moment, gets strained later in the day. That can quite often be when it's cold. 0 to 5, depending on what I'm doing. Thank you, Catherine. Okay, so there's quite a few people that have got back pain. All right. 6, sacroiliac. Yep, cool. Mine gets 1 to 11. Oh my God, Elgie, thank you for sharing that. So why am I excited to talk about back pain? Well, it's a common issue, isn't it, right? There's a lot of people, and especially as you're getting older, and I know there's a lot of people here from Stitch, which means you're probably over 55, right? Is back pain can be a significant issue in your life. And of course, if you've got back pain, it gives you a lower quality of life, and it also restricts what you can do, lack of flexibility. So that's why it's really important. And if you don't deal with it, it becomes chronic. So there's significant benefits of knowing how to heal your back pain. One is you're going to feel more aligned and lighter. You're going to be able to do the things you really love to do, which could be just picking up your grandkids or whatever it is, right? And you're going to be able to do more what you do. So there's a lot of benefits out of it. And the other important reason why I want to talk about it is because there's a lot of misdiagnosis of backs, and there's a lot of mistreatments. And a lot of people go to chiropractors, which don't really heal your back. That's why you got to keep going to them, right? But I can tell you from my experience, I'm going to tell you about some of my experiences and why you can learn from me. I mean, I work with people from 50 different countries. That's one-on-one, right? And I've worked with a lot of people with back issues. I had this guy come to me. He'd been to 9 specialists, right, including at hospitals, who said, we can't fix your back. He actually hardly could walk when he came into my healing room. And in 45 minutes, when he got off my table, my massage table, he literally skipped around the room. It was fixed permanently. And I said, why don't you skip down to the hospital and see those doctors who are telling such lies that it can't be healed? Everything can be healed. I had this lady come to me, and she actually had she was only about 30, and she had a severe back issue. She couldn't do yoga, which she loved to do, and she couldn't ride a bike, which she loved doing, right? And she said, no one can diagnose what's the problem with my back is. And I sort of laughed because I said, I know what it is straight away without even touching her. Because I can connect to people's energy and know what's going on, right? And I said to her, and this might challenge your beliefs, right? What I'm going to talk about today, that's okay. I'm just telling you where I'm at. I said, your wings are broken. And she sort of laughed. I said, yeah, I can see you're a fairy, and I think you've had a fight in fairyland, and your wings are broken. And I said, that's causing you back pain. And I said, the good news is I know how to sew up wings because I can look at a body in multi dimensions. So the session was I actually sewed her wings up energetically. Took about 10 minutes. She got off the table and she said, oh my God, I feel no pain for the first time for 7 years. And the next day she rode a bike and she started yoga. That's the benefit it can give you, right? Now, a lot of people have a scoliosis. I'm going to show you what a scoliosis is in the moment, a curve to the spine, which is very significantly mistreated by putting a rod in your back. And I can tell you that 90% of people got a scoliosis. And with my body work that I do, which I can also do remotely, in case for you guys in the States, I can help people remove a scoliosis permanently in one session, which I've done many, many times. Right? And we're going to talk a bit more about how we do that. So I'm going to share with you, if you don't want a scoliosis, I'm going to show you what a scoliosis looks like. Can you see that? Now, obviously, this is quite a severe case. Now, this is called a right scoliosis because the spine is a curve to the spine and it's gone to the right. Now, yeah, I can notice scoliosis because if you've got a scoliosis, one shoulder is going to be higher than the other. In this case, you can see her right shoulder, right, is higher than the left. So she's got a right scoliosis. Now, one of the mistreatments here is people think it's a spine issue. Absolutely not. The spine is a symptom. Because what pulls your spine out of place is your muscles. So what you see here is the muscles on her left-hand side are relaxed and the muscles on her right-hand side are tight. So if you try and put a rod in her back, I don't know if anyone here has had a rod put in their back, but if you put a rod in her back, the muscles will still pull it out of place and she's actually going to be worse by having a rod in your back. So if you ever think of that surgery, don't get it, right? Because it is healable. And we're going to talk a lot today about body anatomy and what different parts mean. And muscles tend to mean guilt. If you've got muscle issues, you tend to have guilt issues. And we're going to come and talk more about that. But you can see the significance of that. I mean, how's that person going to behave normally in life? How could you be an athlete? How could you do things you like to do? And because one important thing is here, the effect of it, is your body compensates. Once you get a back problem, and yours might not be a significant scoliosis, you might even see it. But if I can tell you, if you've got a right shoulder that's out, you're going to have a left hip that's out, you're going to have a right knee that's out, and you're going to have a left ankle that's out. The body compensates. So you might go to a physio and say, oh my God, I've got an ankle problem, right? A left ankle, but I can tell you the problem is the right shoulder. Because the body compensates so that you don't fall over, right? And therefore you might have other issues in your body, in your body structure, because you haven't fixed your scoliosis. And I can tell you most people got scoliosis. So what we're going to talk about is I'm going to give you a general understanding of what causes illness and what healing is about. And then we're going to relate to the back. Because I can tell you most people don't understand what causes illness. And if you don't know what causes illness, like a back issue, then you're going to mistreat it. And I like to look at the underlying cause. Now, no symptoms are just physical. So if you just treat the back in a physical way, which a lot of the chiropractors do and physiotherapists, you're never going to get to the underlying issue. So I'm going to share again, and the couple of pages I'm going to share here are from I've just written a book called Life Mastery, right, which talk all about healing, which you might want to buy, and I can share that at the end. So let's go in again. I'm going to use charts from that. So this is how I believe you create illness. We have a trauma, right? I'm going to go down this, right? You believe you can't handle life experiences and you have limited thoughts of reality, which create heavy emotions. So for me, as an example, I had a narcissistic parent. and I had very low self-worth and had issues of, oh my God, I'm not good enough, or something wrong with me, a lot of shame and guilt, right? So you tend to have a trauma. And from that trauma, you form limited beliefs that block your essence. And let me explain that in a bit more detail. See, we're a soul, right, that projects our energy into a human body. Now, if we project our full essence into the body's going to be healthy. But if we block our essence because we're holding on to limiting beliefs, like I'm not good enough, I can't, I won't, right? That blocks the energy flow into your body. And then what happens is you, first of all, you have a false sense of yourself, right? Because people are trying to fit into the world to be accepted, right? You develop coping strategies to survive. It could be overeating or whatever it is, right? Being a people pleaser. And that block of energy will create blocks of flow to your body, which is dis-ease. Your body is not at ease. And therefore your body, and if there's a lack of energy into your body actually develops symptoms. So therefore, symptoms reflect a block in your soul essence. Right? Does it make sense? Yeah. Now, the good news is, if you connect to your body, and we're going to do this today with the back, which I do when clients come to me, I just connect to the body and the body will tell me, right? The symptom will actually tell you what the block is. And different parts of the body mean different things, right? And there's two great books, right? Which I'm going to talk about today, which I get my students to buy, right? One book is called The Body is the Barometer of the Soul by Annette NOONTIL, right? The Body is the Barometer of the Soul. She tells you what every single bone means, including every single tooth, including every bone in your back, what it means. And there's another book, and I'll tell you, I'll give these at the end, The Secret Language of Your Body by Inner Sequel, right? And they tell you what particular symptoms mean. Now, of course, they give a more general view, but you've got to really relate it to your specific circumstance. And we'll come and talk about the back in a minute, what those books mean, right, the back. So all illness, and I'm saying all illness, is caused by holding on to limiting thoughts. So therefore, what you need to do is to remove them, right? So if you want to heal, this is again from my book, Life Mastering. So we just said symptoms and messages that the person's blocking their essence by holding on to limiting perceptions of reality. So what you need to do is connect to the symptom, the second point here, to understand the message as to what they're required to learn to reconnect to their soul essence and embody it. So what we're going to do today is talk about, if you've got a back issue, what does it mean? What is the message, right? This is called body wisdom, or sometimes it's known as energetic anatomy. Yeah. Now, if you learn the lesson by connecting to the symptom, which we're going to get you to do today with your back, you can then increase your awareness because you're letting go of those limited perceptions you held. So then you can access more of who you are, your soul essence. I call it your authentic self, right? And then once you reconnect your soul, you let go of those limiting beliefs, you're going to project more of your actual energy into your body, and the body's vibration is going to increase, and the body's got a natural state to heal itself. So that's as an example, I think I talked about this before, but I helped a lady who had multiple sclerosis. And I know the cause of that is by believing you lost control of your body, which happened to her when she was giving birth. Now, when she let go of that belief, in 2 days, she was walking with no crutches because she'd let go of her limiting beliefs. So therefore, her body returned to health. And I can tell you, you can heal anything. I like a famous comment once. All illnesses are healable, but some people aren't. It just depends whether you're ready or not. Because I can tell you, I've helped a lot of people overcome scoliosis and back issues. So what I'm going to share with you today is, the question is, are you open to help yourself heal? It's not whether it works or not, because I've worked with people from many, many countries with all the range of issues. It does work. It just depends on whether you're open to heal. Which means open to let go of your limiting beliefs. So I'm going to challenge you today is to be open. See, that lady with multiple sclerosis, she was ready. And quite often pain is a big motivator because she had the pain. She was an athlete and she could hardly walk because she was on crutches. That really motivated her to want to move through the multiple sclerosis. So is there any questions on that before we come and talk about the back? That's more of a general overview, so you know, and this is what I've learned from being a holistic healer for over 30 years, right? And being able to help people heal from anything, including cancer, tumors, anxiety, depression, whatever it is, body issues. So let's now understand what causes a back issue, given what we just talked about, and then how you can shift it. Now, in a way, bodies are quite logical because we hold different when we project our energy into our body, we hold different consciousness in different parts of our body. And bodies are quite logical, right? If you've got a problem with your ears, well, you're probably not listening to something. If you've got problems with your throat, well, you're not expressing yourself, right? If you've got a problem with your heart, you're not loving yourself, right? If you've got a problem with your legs, you've probably got an issue about not feeling safe in the world, because that's what your feet do. They connect you to the world, right? So what do backs represent? And you can read that in those books, right? And of course, it does depend on what part of the back it is, whether it's upper back, middle back, or the lower back. And Inner Siegel talks about those different things. But overall, what does your back do logically? Your back supports you. So I can guarantee that if you've got an issue with your back, you've got an issue about supporting yourself. Or you don't feel supported by the world, which might mean it could have happened when you had a trauma when you were a kid that you felt abandoned or rejected, which was a bit like I had, right? Or not fitting into the world, or your partner doesn't support you, or your workplace doesn't support you, right? But ultimately, it's about supporting yourself. If you feel people aren't supporting you in the world, based on the law of attraction, which we've talked in previous talks, if you feel other people are not supporting you, that's a reflection to you that you're not supporting yourself. And what does supporting yourself mean? Well, it means, are you caring for yourself? So a lot of people are busy working 50 hours a week to buy things they don't need and rushing around all the time, right? Is that supporting yourself? Absolutely not. That's actually being very toxic in the form of self-abuse. Are you supporting yourself financially? Are you supporting yourself emotionally? Knowing how to move through emotions? Are you healing past trauma? So in a way, if you've got a scoliosis, which is a curve of the spine, what it's really saying is you've got crooked thinking. You're not supporting yourself because of the crooked thoughts you've got, which could be, I can't do it. Just say, I can't do it, which is just a belief. It's not true. But if you believe it, that's what you're going to create. That's not supporting yourself. Well, if you're not loving yourself for who you are, that's a lack of self-support. So in a way, if you've got a back issue, you're not able to stand up for yourself in the world. Because that's what a back is. Now, that means, if you had issues with narcissists, which is what I had, you're probably going to have issues in your lower back, which is around your power chakra, behind your stomach. If you've got issues around your neck, which is in your throat chakra, right, you're probably not supporting yourself by expressing what you want to say. You might be a people pleaser. If you've got issues in your upper back, around your heart and towards your shoulders, shoulders are about being burdened. I met a lady the other day, an expo, and I could see her shoulder up. My God, they were so tight. I could just see them, right. And she was being burdened by a mother who was a narcissist. And this is about loving yourself. This is about loving yourself. So you've got an upper back issue, I can tell you're not loving yourself, and you're probably being overwhelmed by the world, which could be by other people, or you don't believe you can't handle the world, right? If you've got issues around your lower back, which is in your sacrum area, right, the low back, the real low part of your back, around your lumbar bone, that's in your carotid chakra, around your hips. And that means you've probably got fear around creating money for yourself, or creating a lifestyle, support yourself, which could be a lack of money, or you haven't got a house, or you haven't got support to help you look after the kids, or so if you've got an issue around creating, not supporting yourself in creating, then you're going to have a low back issue. Now, if you've got all those issues, right, then you're probably going to have problems in all your back. Now, the other thing is the left side of your body is different to the right side. So if you've got a right side scoliosis, as we showed in that picture, right side of the body is masculine or being physical. Left side is feminine or spiritual. So if you've got a right side scoliosis or problems in your right side of your body, that means you've got issues in your masculine, which could be about knowing how to create in the world, right? Putting yourself out there, knowing how to look after yourself, protect yourself. Whereas the feminine energy is more about caring for yourself and that self-nurturing, not the mother energy. Now, the other interesting thing is, if you know about meridians, meridians are like energy channels that run up and down the body, which the Chinese relate to a lot in their healing practices. There's only one meridian that goes down the back, the bladder. And what does the bladder meridian relate to? They've all got different frequencies. The bladder meridian relates to anxiety. That's why you go to the toilet a lot if you've got anxiety. Yeah. And so as you go to the toilet a lot, you get up 4 times a night during the night time, you've got anxiety and you're probably worrying and thinking, and you've probably got insomnia. So there's a lot of anxiety because if you're not supporting yourself, well, you're going to be anxious. You believe you're going to handle the world, right? Which is a reflection of not connecting to who you really are. Because if you're connected to who you really are, well, you will support yourself. And we really talked about this in previous workshops, is the ultimate issue for people is they're not connected to themselves. They're blocking who they are by holding on to limiting thoughts, which is blocking the energy flow into their body. So is there any particular questions on what I've covered so far about the cause of illness? So your back issue is caused because you're holding on to limiting thoughts. Yeah, that's the ultimate. Once you let go of those limiting thoughts, as we showed in those charts, then you're allowing more energy flow into your body. And of course, in this particular case with your back, it's about letting go of limiting thoughts about supporting yourself. Is there any comments in the chat room? Let me just check if there's any comments in the chat room. Do you see Elke, do you see a causal difference between illness and injury? Great question.
And it's a causal difference.
Okay, no. Every symptom in the body, which could be an illness or an injury, is caused by blocking the energy flow into the body, which is caused by limiting belief. And I'll give an example, Elke. If you've got a knee issue, see, knees about moving forward. If your knees don't work, you can't move forward physically, right? Now, so if you've got limiting thoughts about moving forward, oh my God, I've got a client at the moment and she's moving out of she's getting divorced, right? But she's got issues about how to do that. She's definitely got a knee problem, the right knee, actually, because it's about the physical. And that's no different. She's got limited thoughts about moving forward, which is no difference to why you might have cancer, which is always about self-hatred, or backs is about support. So that's a good question. Yeah. Does that make sense, Elke? Cool. Lovely red hair, by the way. Yeah. Any other questions? So what we're going to do is I'm going to take you through an exercise to do this. And I'm probably going to work with one person closely to show how I would do it if you came and saw me. Right. And if you can't do this exercise yourself, which you can do yourself, then maybe you can book me in for a healing session. Now, I'm going to tell you about the story, as an example, this is possible, of Joe Dispenza. Does everybody put your hand up if you know Joe Dispenza? If you haven't know his story, I suggest to watch the movie Heal, Heal. It's a documentary. I watched it the other day for the second time on Prime, which is free in Prime. Right? And he tells his story, and that's a great show, actually. It goes for an hour and a half and talks a lot about healing. So let me tell the story about Joe Dispenza. He got knocked off his push bike by a car, and all his vertebrae were out of place. And the doctor said you will never walk again. So what he did is he trained his mind to put every single vertebrae back in place, to let go of his limiting thoughts, because he created that bike accident for a reason. And we'll come talk about this in a minute. He walked out of that hospital. So if one person can do it, other people can do it. It's all about whether you have the power to use your mind, right? Now, of course, I believe we create things in our life to be of service. Now, that experience, you could say that was a bad experience, or you could say it was life-changing for Joe because, you know, he came and wrote the book, Biology of Beliefs, very famous book, right, which talks about your thoughts in your body, right, as we've been talking about. And that's made him famous, and it's given him the incentive to go and help other people know how they can heal. So I believe we have experiences to be of service, but quite often we take issues personally and believe there's something wrong with us, right? Which is a limiting perception. Okay, so Miss Elke, I'm going to ask you if, as we go through this exercise, is if I can talk to you more specifically so that people can help. Is that cool? Cool.
Yes, thanks.
Now, what was your score out of 10, Elke, about your back?
Right now about a 4, I would say.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, excellent. Now, the 4-step process, which I teach my healers to use, but also you can use this yourself. And I've got a self-healing course, which I'm going to talk about at the end. Right, I'm going to share you. And remember, you're going to get a copy of this, so you don't have to write this all down because you can watch the video and stop it later, right? But there's 4 steps to healing. I use the acronym CURE, CURE, and we're going to take you through this process with your back. I've used this to help people heal from everything. As healers, we don't heal you. If any healer says they heal you, walk away from them, because they don't. You can only heal yourself. Because only you can let go of your limiting beliefs. So the first thing is you've got to connect to the symptom. Because remember, we've said the symptom has got all the answers. The symptom is there because you're blocking some essence. So the answer is in the symptom. And that's what's crazy in Western medicine, where people cover up the symptom with painkillers. What? It's ridiculous. Okay. Then you understand the message. So we know the message is in the symptom. And therefore, we're looking for what do we need to learn by referring to the meaning of the symptom. And we've already talked a bit about that with the back. It's about, in some way, that you're not supporting yourself. Then once you understand it, like once that lady with multiple sclerosis understood that she had a belief she's lost control of her body, which has happened in a trauma from giving birth, where she felt she lost control of her body. Once she released that limiting thought and started believing that she's in control of her body, her whole body then actually played out that program. It's like a thought you put in your body is like a program. Your body plays it out. And the body doesn't judge what you choose to experience. If you choose to be poverty, the world will create it for you. If you choose to be rich, the world will choose that as well. That's your choice. So once you release it, and there's various ways you can release it, then you're going to have higher awareness because you've got a message. You're going to have an increase in conscious awareness. So all healing is about increasing your awareness. Because you've learned from the system, and once you've let go of the limiting belief, there's greater flow of energy in your body, and your body can heal. See, I had a heart attack last year, but I didn't go to hospital. Oh my God, hospitals are toxic. Why would I go to hospital? I actually healed it because I talked to my heart. Hello, what do I need to learn here? And once I got the message, this beautiful white light went through my whole body, and I had no pain because I got the message. It's like once the postman comes and gives you a message, you don't need the postman anymore. Okay, so does that make sense? But now we're going to apply this, and we're going to get you all to go through it. And as I said, the more you interact with it, the better. But we're going to use Elke here as a little guinea pig to help you understand how I would help people if they come here. And of course, when people come to me, I also do body work. But I can do body work with people from a distance, remote. To me, it's no difference. Because I do a lot of craniosacral work and stuff. That's why I can help move scoliosis. Okay, It's enough talking. Let's stop that share. So, Elke, first of all, where's the pain in your back?
Mid back and a little bit on the left trapezius.
So in the upper part of your back.
Yeah, just about where like one's bra strap would be. That's where.
So this
And
is
then
not,
in my neck as well.
yeah, your neck is out. I can see it. Push your hair back so I can see your shoulders. You got a left scoliosis.
I do.
Yeah, I can see that. Right. Now, left side is what we said before, feminine. It's behind the heart. So I can tell you, Elke, and I can just connect into her energy. She's got issues about loving herself as a woman. Yeah, is that true?
Well, I would say as a human,
Yeah.
my self-love issues are not gendered, even though I am, if that makes sense.
I think your issues are feminine. We'll come and talk about why, because on the left side.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'm not understanding, but yeah, I have self-love issues. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Because you've chosen to be a woman, and as we know, we've all got masculine and feminine energies. But right, if you have troubles being a woman in a world, which of course is an issue for the world because women have been suppressed for so long, right? Especially in particular cultures. What culture are you?
I'm white, white atheist Buddhist. Is that?
Yeah,
I'm not sure what you mean.
what
I grew
culture?
up in
What
a
culture?
Jewish family.
Oh, Jewish. Okay, cool. Yeah, because sometimes particular cultures, like Indian and Arab cultures and even Greek cultures, they're very suppressive feminine energy. Right. Okay, let's give them some
I would
background.
say the Jewish culture is too. I would
Yeah,
say that.
yeah, it is too. Right. Where I live in St Kilda in Melbourne, it's quite close to in Hills here in Melbourne. But Melbourne is very multicultural. And I actually live near a big Jewish area. Oh, there's a lot of Jewish schools and stuff. Right.
Mhm.
Okay, so yours score is a 4. So I'm going to tell Elke, but as I'm going through this, I want all of you to do it, and we can ask questions every step. So what I want you to do now is close your eyes, and I want you to actually connect. Remember the first part of the cure process. C is connect. So how do you connect to something with your senses? So Elke and everybody else, I want you to really connect to your back pain. Really feel it. Be with it. Visualize it. If it's a color, what color would be? And don't really tell me, just connect to it. What color would it be? If the pain was an object, what would it be? If it had a smell, what smell would it be? If you touched it, would it be rough or smooth? So really use all your senses, your visual senses, your hearing senses, your touching, right? If it had an emotion connect to it, what emotion would it be?
Well, I'm not sure if you wanted me to answer those
Not
questions.
right now. I'll let you know. I'll give
Okay.
you an answer.
Okay.
I'm just going to give one to connect to it. So I just want you for another 15 seconds. Everyone connect to it. Okay. So let's. You can open your eyes, and I'm doing specific with elk so you guys can see how we can go through this process, right? So what did you feel when you connected to it? Your back, the back pain.
I felt sadness.
Cool. Thank you for that. What color did you see?
Different areas. So like down the middle of my back, it's gray. Up here on my shoulder, it's like yellow, like the color of sweet corn.
Yeah.
And in my trapezius, it's pink, like the color of inside flesh, like tonsils.
Well, you're very visual, aren't you?
I,
What
I,
did you feel?
I'm very sensitive. Yeah.
I know, yeah, you're very sensitive. You're an empath, right? Um,
Mhm.
if you felt it and touched it, what would it feel like? Rough or smooth?
Would be smooth.
Cool. Thank you for
like
that.
it's like a pipe. But again, different in different areas. But the main one is smooth and cold, like a zinc pipe.
Yeah. Yeah. Because this is how we connect. We're now going to move to the next step. If you want to understand a child, what do? You connect to them, right? No difference with a symptom. But you know what most people do? They do the opposite. They resist the symptom. I ran into this lady in the gym and she had a sore knee and she was complaining and angry with her knee because she felt it was stopping her from playing sport. The knee wasn't stopping her from playing the sport. It was her limiting beliefs. Because sometimes people use the nonsense, "Oh, I've got to fight disease," which is another nonsense, right? It's about, no, you've got to connect because you've created it, right? Okay, so now we're going to move into the second step. Second step is understand it. So remember, all illness, all limiting thoughts are caused by a trauma. And therefore, quite often when I ask people to connect to a symptom, I get them to go back to the trauma. So when I worked with that lady with multiple sclerosis, as soon as I saw her, I said, "Oh my God, this happened 7 years ago." That was my intuition, right? And that was when she gave birth, and that was the trauma when it first started, right? So what I want you to do, when we go, I'm going to talk you through this and see if you can go back to when the pain was actually created, right? Okay. So, okay. So everyone here, and okay, I'll get you to connect to it. I might even talk you through it as we go through it, right? So I want you to, again, all you guys to reconnect to the pain in your back. Again, feeling it, hearing it, seeing it, touching it, like I did before. And I want you to ask the pain this question. When did this pain was created? When did it first enter your body? And you should get a thought. Elk, what thought did you get?
The physical pain entered at 19, and the traumatic pain entered in the uterus and again at 6.
6 years old.
Hmm.
Okay. So let's first of all go back to 6 years old. I want you to go back to that experience because you had a trauma which formed a limiting belief. So at 6 years old, tell me what happened.
Okay, I'm gonna say it was 6 or 7. Um, Two boys down the street um captured me, tied my hands behind my back with a rope,
Yeah.
marched me up to their treehouse, and said they were gonna rape me. I didn't know what rape was, but I thought they were gonna kill me.
Okay. So what thoughts do you have at that time? Because remember,
Thoughts now?
sorry?
I'm sorry, what thoughts did I have at that time?
Yeah,
Can you repeat the question?
what limiting thoughts did you have when you were going through that trauma?
Oh, well, afterward, nobody supported me, so it's like I'm on my own here.
See
I'm
how
on my own.
see how she
Anybody?
started by being up support. No one is supporting me.
Yep,
Wow. Thank you. Well
because
done.
my family didn't really do anything afterward. So
So if we got a thought, no one's supporting me, what do you reckon you're going to create in the world based on we create by our thoughts?
yeah, the back.
Yeah. So I want you to thank that pain for giving you that message, right? And we're going to come back to it in a minute. All the other guys, I'm going to give you a time in a minute, but let us just do it with Elk first. So what happened at 19? I think, well, that's significant as well.
That's when my physical pain started. I think I had always been lonely. I think at 19 is when I realized that I was profoundly, absurdly, and abnormally lonely.
Okay. So what beliefs did you have that was causing you to be lonely?
Um, that n- no one would love me, but it's also, I remember not like the parent inside me. It was sort of protective, like you can't fall in love because you have to relive and clean that stuff up from your childhood. And I didn't realize that at the time, but I know now that's what was happening. Am I making sense? I'm not sure.
Absolutely. So
Okay.
everyone, she's had two limiting thoughts, and we could, obviously this is a healing session, one-on-one, we go in more detail. But we've already identified two limiting thoughts. No one is supporting me, and no one loves me. You can see how she's not supporting herself. If you don't believe everyone's going to love you, well, you're not going to create a loving relationship, right? Or loving people around you. So in a minute, we're going to help you understand that a bit more. So I want everyone else now, so okay, you can just connect to it more, go back to those times, 6 and 19. I want you to sit with it. I want everyone else now to connect to the pain in their back and did what we did with elk. So when you connect to the pain in your back, visualize it, smell it, feel it, and ask the pain, when was it first enter your body? And then go to that time and see what experience you had and what limiting thoughts that you created at that time based on some traumatic experience. The pain knows when it first entered. Just ask it. Hello, pain. When did you first enter my body? And then go back to that time like we did with elk. And see what limiting thoughts you had at that time with some trauma. And those limiting thoughts around not supporting yourself is what's caused the back issue. Okay, I'm going to give you 1 more minute. Just really sit with it. If you're not getting an answer, just allow yourself to connect to the pain. The answer's there. Just allow yourself to go back. Don't resist it. I want you to treat the pain as a friend, as a teacher. Hello, pain. Thanks for being here. I know you're going to help me. I love you. Give the pain a big hug. Don't resist it. Give it a big hug. You have 30 more seconds. If you're not getting any thoughts, it's okay. This may be the first time you've done it. You learn from experience. And you can watch this video over and over to get it. Okay, so open up your eyes. Now we're going to go back to elk and show you, right? And then you guys can do it. So next step is understanding it, right? So the question is, you had these experiences, which you had limiting beliefs of no one is supporting me and no one will love me. So I want you to now, how old are you now, Elk, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I'm 68.
I was born in 58, so that's a good number. Right. So,
68.
hey, 58.
68. No,
Six,
68.
oh, 68.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, you don't look 68. Okay. So I want you to close your eyes, Elk. And I want you to take the awareness you got now as a 68-year-old and what you learned from life. And I want you to go back to that experience when you were a 6-year-old and talk to your little elk, at 6 years old, your little inner child, and tell her what can she learn from that experience where she thought no one is supporting me. What do you feel the big lesson to learn from that experience is?
Well, it's tied to, I told you my shape looks like a pipe. That doesn't belong to me. I should have whacked the boys who did their thing. I should have whacked everybody who treated me like crap. And that's where that pipe belongs, not inside of me.
Okay. So be aware that if we're blaming other people, the word blame is be lame. Because in a way, they're helping.
I'm not blaming them. I should have just taken care of myself instead of waiting
Yeah,
for
because,
someone to rescue me.
yeah, that's cool, right? So what else could have you done at that time, rather than having the belief no one is supporting me? What could have you done instead to support yourself better? That thought.
Just not take in. others' perceptions of me
Cool.
and ground myself instead.
Yeah. Now, also what I'm picking up from your energy, because I'm reading your energy, is I want you to imagine to go back in that experience. And I want you to imagine that you're a big, powerful animal. If you're a big, powerful animal, what would you be?
Lion.
Okay, I want you to imagine you're a big, powerful lion surrounded by a lot of lions. And you've got all these angels that are supporting you and looking after you. So I want you to imagine that you're there as a big lion supported by a lot of lions and all these beautiful angels. And I want you to say to yourself, I love being supported by the world because it's looking after me, because I'm connecting to the world to help the world support me. How do you feel in that experience now?
They're really big, and my lion is just laughing at those two boys, seeing
Oh,
how small they really are.
yeah, yeah. So it's all changing perception. So I was going to get lions, my power animal as well, and that's one way to be strong to support yourself. I was walking along a river in Ecuador, and I felt these two guys behind me about to rob me because I'm telepathic. So I just straight away went into my lion energy and had 25 lions around me, and they weren't going to rob me. My belief is I'm more powerful than them. Okay, cool. That's good. Now I want you to go back to the experience when you're 19,
Mhm.
right? Just go back to that experience and where the pain is in your body, in your back, that experience when you're 19. When you had the thought, no one will love me. And I want you to share with your 19-year-old from your experience as a 68-year-old woman, what message that your 19-year-old could learn from that experience when she thought no one would love her? What can you share with her?
Oh, that's not true. Guys buy you drinks all the time. You think because they feel sorry for you. It's because they want to talk to you.
So do you believe it's true no one will love you?
Believe that now? No.
Now remember, this is also related to sadness, which is about not loving yourself. So so if you say no one will love you, that includes yourself.
Yeah, it does.
So I want you now, as a 68-year-old Elkie, to go back and give your 19-year-old a big hug and tell her that you love her and you will always love her. Imagine giving her a big hug and saying, I love you. I want you to feel that. Imagine giving her a big hug and seeing how she feels. How does she feel?
Well, good. Realizing how smart and creative she is. And there are just some people out there not ready for her. Just didn't look far enough. That's it. Very simple.
That's okay. See, because if we don't love ourselves, we tend to look for self-acceptance from other people or external
Hmm.
validation, right? Which means
Hmm.
you're giving your power away. And most people in the world are unconscious, and therefore, why would you give your power away to unconscious people? That's pretty ridiculous, right? So this is loving you for who you are, because we're all special souls. You just got to
Yes,
connect to it.
I totally believe that.
So now, as a 68-year-old, I want you to really close your eyes. I want you to really support yourself to say there's so many people in the world that can support me, including lions and including all the angels. And I love myself and I'm going to open myself up to others to love me. So I feel supported in the world and really feel that energy. Allow yourself to support yourself through loving yourself and allow others to support you because got such beautiful creativity and you're a beautiful soul. In this way, we're releasing it from her body because we're getting her to change her perception. She's going to be involved. So we're doing the releasing of the old energy, old thoughts, by holding on to new thoughts about loving herself and supporting herself. That's the process I'm taking. When you're ready, Elk, open up your eyes. How do your back feel now?
Well, feels better. Maybe a one.
That's not too bad, moving from 4 to 1
No.
in a few minutes in front of other people. The one way you can love yourself right now is just celebrating yourself for doing this process in front of other people. And we really appreciate it because it's showing other people, right? Well done. So before we do this with other people, and you can still connect loving yourself, really love yourself, Elk, for your creativity and whatever, and love your 19-year-old, love your 6-year-old. They hope you learn lessons. Keep giving them big hugs. Is there any questions from other people about that process of how I help to change the perception? Okay, so everyone else, I want you now to go back to when connect the energy in your back again. We got you to connect to when it first happened. And I want you, if you can, to look at that experience from now, your older self now, and give awareness to yourself back in that experience so you could change your perception, a little bit like we did with Elk. What can you learn from that experience? And just have some quiet, so I don't want anyone else to say anything. I just want you to allow yourself to go back. We'll give you a few minutes to connect to it. What can I learn from that experience? How can I support myself better than the beliefs I had at that time? Just keep connected. If you're not getting a message, just keep connected. Talk to you in that early time period. Okay, we'll give you 1 more minute. So just ask the pain, ask that experience to give you one important message of what you needed to learn to support yourself better in your life now. Okay, open up your eyes. And of course, in a proper healing session, you give yourself a lot more time. So has anyone, put your hand up if you've got at least one important message to support yourself. Yep, we know Elk did. Anybody else? No one really got a message. Does anybody want to ask any questions about that process? And Zachy, you can unmute yourself and ask a question.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. My question is, how can you connect to your soul when you are feeling miserable with your back pain?
Okay. The question, and it's good question, is because you connect to the pain. The pain's got a message for you. And by getting the message, if you look at Elk and the way we did it with her, by her loving herself more and loving her 6-year-old, loving her 19-year-old, and knowing that she can support herself and being a lion, that is connecting to her essence, connecting to her soul. So it's through connecting to the pain. See, what a lot of people do is they resist the pain. Oh my God, I've got a back pain, and they complain about it, rather than connecting to it and getting the message. See, when I had a heart attack, I thought I was dying. I could hardly breathe. I felt like 10 people were standing on my chest. And I don't know if anyone's had a heart attack, right? But I knew the heart had the message. So I just keep connected to the heart. And I got the message, which helped me connect to what I needed to learn, and then the pain went away. And it might take practice with Zachy, or you might want to have a healing session, right, to learn how to do it, right? But this is an important process that you can use to heal anything, right? And of course, this might be the first time you've done it, and therefore you might have found it challenging, and that's okay. But it's like anything, you keep doing, you keep learning from it. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Anybody else? Now, I put some links in which I'll mention to people. I put the 2 books in, and you copy these down. I put my Life Mastery book link. If you book a healing session with me, you get my self-healing course for free. And my self-healing course is worth $500. So Catherine's asking the question, how does the aging process fit into this theory? Well, age depends on your beliefs. Because at 68 years old, you can look very old and can hardly move, or you can be really fit and healthy, right? So in terms of what thoughts you're having about yourself, if you have thoughts, oh, I'm really old, well, your body's going to age quicker. There's a famous exercise that was done by Deepak Chopra, famous in the healing industry. He took this group of 65 to 70-year-olds for a few weeks, and he put them back to when they were 50, including the environment and the music, and all their aging symptoms reversed. So aging is a thought process. So people in Western world think, oh, I'm 80, I'm getting old, right? But I can tell there's people who live to 120, 150. Yeah. It all depends on your thought process. Think young and you'll be young. Okay, is there any other questions that people have got? But as you can see with Elle, she went from 4 to 1, which is pretty cool, right? Have a look at her. You look different. You feel different, don't you? I just look at you. You look different. Yeah. So my self-healing course there is a course. I was talking to one of my students who was doing that course, and she's been doing it for about 2 months because you can do it at your own pace, right? That's made a massive change to her life because she now knows how to heal herself from a whole range of things, right? So that self-healing course gives you understanding and techniques to heal yourself, a bit like we talked about today, but with more exercises. And how important is it for you to be able to heal yourself? Well, it's going to save you a lot of money in terms of health bills, right? And you're going to be healthier. And if you've got a back is with less pain and more flexible, like that 30-year-old who couldn't ride a bike and do yoga, within 2 days, she could actually do both of them. How life-changing is that? And if you want help to do the process, we'll book a healing session with me, and I'll take you through a process like I did with Elk, but in probably a little bit more detail. Any other questions or points? I just want to really thank Elkie for being a guinea pig and going through that process, so that we can help show other people how it does work. And well done for connecting to it. Are you are you a healer, Elkie?
On mute. It's I don't know how to put this. I think I could be. I've done like participated in other healings, and I'm very sensitive to where I can get in and release energy and have my body move. And so I've had dreams that I could probably do it the other way if I wanted to. I could probably be one, but I think Buddhism has something to do with it because we're all about helping other people. And
Yeah.
like whatever happened to me, I chose it so that I could help other people. And that's what I'm doing now with my life.
Yeah.
Not in a healing the way you are, but I also was a performer for a long time. So healing that way, like, my goal would be to reach people that way all the time. So if someone was laughing or crying, I did my job.
Yeah. Because obviously, I met a lady the other day who's a healer, and she does dance therapy. If you're on dance classes. So there's a lot, you've got a lot of creative energy, right?
Mm.
That's why it's really important to open up your sacral chakra, which was affected by the experience when you were 6 years old, right? Because obviously it affected there because you were sort of being raped, which is going to affect your sexual organs, right? Your sexual blocks there. So, yeah, I can see you're definitely on a journey to help other people. Absolutely. And part of what I do is a train healer, so you might want to talk to me sometime about it. But if you want to follow up with me, Elke, you can contact me through the. Are you in Stitch?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You can contact me through Stitch, through the group there.
Okay.
If you want to follow up on that. But well done for today. You did really well. I can see a difference in you. And thanks everyone else for turned up. Go away with that. See if you can connect to your back. Don't resist it. And just connect to your pain. Pain is a motivator for help us learn. So thanks for your time today, and we hope to see you again in the next one. I'll let you know when the next activity is. I don't do them every week now. I do them every couple of weeks or every 3 weeks, just depends what goes on. But I tend to do them at this time, which is Friday afternoon, Friday night in Canada or United States, or Saturday morning in Australia. So it's about 11 o'clock in Australia here. It's a sunny day, even though it's cold, and I'm going to go out my scooter in a minute, which is part of healing for me, and ride along the beach, enjoy the parks. So enjoy your evening in the States, because it must be about 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock there in the States. So enjoy evenings.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you. See you again soon. See this one here, the Facebook group? That's my self-healing Facebook group. If you join that, that's where I put the replays. And I also do regular posts. Just join that Facebook group. And you can see the replays of this and replays of previous talks I've done.